You are listening to the You Get to Decide podcast with your host, Allison Cratchola Gallagher, episode number 17. Welcome to the You Get to Decide podcast. This is your life and business coach and host, Allison Cratchola Gallagher. I help all you high achievers out there feel content and confident so that you can feel happy now. Then you're just going to go out and create the life of your dreams faster. Through my journey, coaches have helped me completely transform my life, and now I get to help you do the same. Every week, we're going to talk tools, tips, and tricks to help you take consistent action based off the life you want. Because you really do get to decide your life. And I am here to remind you of that every week. So let's get started. Hi, everybody. So this is another coaching episode. It is recorded, a live coaching call with Nina. And she was struggling. She realized that she was just not letting go fully and just not trusting fully in her marriage. And she wanted to kind of push through that barrier. And we discussed what she needed from her husband and how to communicate that, as you'll hear. And how to, she wants to be more vulnerable. She wants to grow. And so I helped her get to that place of what that looked like for her and the communication with her husband. And then we moved on something in business. She's a business owner and she had some thoughts that were creating some blocks from her, creating her to be stuck. And we worked through that and what it would look like to create safety and sufficiency in her business and how different she would show up. So I'm always humbled. I'm always honored to every second of every day that I get to coach someone. And I'm always so grateful for whoever's in front of me that is willing to be coached by me. So I'm so thankful to Nina for showing up today for this call and the ability to coach her. But then hopefully when you hear this, it's resonating with you. If you don't know what coaching is, you're kind of getting an idea of what that looks like. And if you're listening and if it resonates with you, again, maybe you'll get your own breakthrough. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that anyone who's listening can relate and have their own breakthrough in their thoughts and what you may be, how you may be showing up that might be blocking you. So if you're interested in a 30-minute coaching session to be recorded for the podcast, you can reach out to me at coaching@AllisonGallagher.com. If you have any questions about coaching, you can do the same there. But I'll take it away on our coaching call. Thanks. See you next week, guys.
We're here with Nina. Hi, Nina.
Hi. How are you?
And I'm good. Good morning. And Nina wants some coaching today. And I know Nina from some networking events that I've been to. So I've known her here and there, in and out, kind of in my network, but we've never coached before. And she asked me for some coaching. So I'm excited to do this with you today and hopefully get you to a transformation. So what are we coaching on?
So I guess the beginning of last year, it kind of hit me that trust has been an issue in my life as far as being able to trust that other people, I guess, have my best interest, trust myself. I built walls of safety my whole life. And I kind of came to this realization that like my life is almost, I don't want to say it's like a facade totally, but it's like I haven't been living as authentically or as maybe present as I could just because, again, I've built these walls of safety, to make sure that I am always okay no matter what's happening around me. And it just has really affected my marriage, other relationships. I feel like business, I have a business and I want to elevate that to the next level, but it's like, this is like a big thing that's holding me back.
Okay. So can you give me an example? Did something happen? You said last year, did something happen to create this like burning bush? Like, wow, this is a reoccurring thing. Like what made you realize this? Can you give me an example?
Sure. So like probably I realized it most in my marriage, and probably burnout in my business. I don't as far as business goes, I will work and work and work and work thinking that I am going to just be in some kind of activity and I am always going to be able to produce that answer, that solution to my business. And I don't trust that things are just naturally going to come to me. Like for achievements, for example, or incentives in my business, it's like, I don't allow any level of faith, that if I keep doing the right things, I'm going to get there. It's like, well, what's the next thing? What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? Like, I always feel like everything's on me to get me to where I want to go. And then as far as marriage goes, I mean, it's not sharing finances. It's not sharing, bank accounts. It's withholding information because fear of maybe his response or not wanting him to know all of my cards. You know what I mean? And we've been married for a long time. We've been together for a long time,
So as far as business, do you believe that you're capable to go where you're going?
Yes, I do.
So when you say trust, do you trust, is it a safety thing, or do you say trust as in, do you not trust your choices in the next steps you're taking?
I question my choices, like it's almost like I'm not trusting the timeline either. If it's not happening fast enough, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Or what else could I be doing? Like, I'm not trusting the process.
So it's natural for our brain to do that, right? Mm-hmm. It's natural for our brain to say it's not working. It's not happening fast enough. It wants to beat you up. But do you feel, because when you say trust, do you feel safe? Do you feel safe in your marriage?
Probably not.
So tell me what you think about when you think about not feeling safe in your marriage.
I know that since a little girl, my parents divorced when I was 9. And when that happened, my mom was primarily a stay-at-home mom, but my family had businesses. And my mom would work during the busy seasons for my family. My dad was in construction. Wintertime was slower for him. That was when the family business was good, right? So she would go and do that. So when they split, she didn't have a steady income, and the rug was like literally ripped from under her, and she had to go. She worked my family, but she was working her ass off. Sometimes she wouldn't have a day off for 2 weeks. If my dad had us that weekend, she would just work that entire weekend, and her and my grandmother would say to me, you have to make sure that when you're an adult that you can stand on your own 2 feet. You can never trust any man to take care of you. You have to be able to take care of yourself. And so it started there. And so I have always been like super independent, probably hyper independent. Like, I worked all through high school, all through college. I always had my own money. I always bought my own things. I paid for all of my shit, from an early age, moved out at an early age. And so I think it was a blessing. And I also think it is, for me, a curse when it comes to being able to trust other people.
Protecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Control, right?
Mm-hmm. Control, very much. I very much like to be in control.
Yeah, right? Because that's what we think the protection is. If we control everything, we have protection, right?
Yeah, because I watched my mom not have control, and then I didn't have control as a child either. With them, yes. It was not a good co-parenting situation whatsoever.
So then, have you ever shared this with your husband?
Yes.
And what did he say?
He understands, and he tries to instill, that he's not going anywhere, and that I can let down those walls, but it's still hard for me to do that. I haven't moved. Like, I've been able to address it and put it out there, but I really haven't been able to like do much with it, if that makes sense. Little bits, but not much.
So, all right. So what does that mean?
So like just sharing, like,
you've had that conversation, right? So you've opened the door that
yes,
this is the deal. This is where I am. And you've
mm-hmm.
kind of stepped foot into the door, but not fully. So tell me what that
Right.
means.
Like sharing when asked, you know, about bills and finances, but not like here's the password to my account. You know what I mean? Here's all the passwords to everything.
So what does full vulnerability look like for you? Sharing you fully, what does that look like,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because some marriages are fully fulfilled and they're full of trust, but their spouses don't have passwords, right? So
Right.
what feels, right? Because it's our thoughts
Mm-hmm.
that it's all neutral, right? So it's our thoughts that are creating this control and manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
What would it look like for you to step into full vulnerability in your marriage? Like, is your husband triggered by finances? What do you think he would say?
Yeah, I mean, you know, finances are not always like a great topic, and so I try to avoid them at all costs. And it's just like I guess it's because I do have the control. So it's like all of the questions are directed at me, and then I get uncomfortable because I'm being questioned and I become defensive. You know what I mean? And maybe I don't need to be defensive, but I am, you know.
So this is how I'm gonna how does it feel to think about, because you know I have very vulnerable conversations with my husband. I'm an entrepreneur, he is not. He has been with me for 21 years on this journey, which I know I don't take lightly. That's really hard
Mm-hmm,
for our partner, right? I just feel for me.
right, right.
And what if you said to him, so if he's asking questions and you
Mm-hmm,
feel it's accusatory,
mm-hmm.
do you think it's accusatory, or do you think he's just coming from a place of curiosity as your partner who is adulting together with you?
I think at times it's accusatory.
Okay, so could you ask him, I'm feeling like, I would say, I feel like you're poking at something that maybe I feel like this is accusatory.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to have a conversation about where you're coming from with why you're asking. I understand that we're both triggered by finances and maybe in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts about what's happening that you're asking me this way?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you could ask, I say to my husband, I lean into all the vulnerability and I ask lots of questions. And I also tell him where I am at all points. Like I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this is how I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling. I'm feeling very vulnerable right now in this conversation. But I want us to have a vulnerable conversation because I love you and I want to feel connected to you and I want to feel in full trust at all times. But I know that this conversation needs to happen. Like I
Mm-hmm.
say all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if my husband's coming at me about something, then I would say this feels accusatory, but I don't say it in a defensive way.
Right.
More of a, well, he's concerned. He's
Right.
concerned. So does he have reason to be concerned? Is there times where he found out you were hiding things and then didn't like you were hiding things? Like I always look at what's my side of the street look like and why
Right.
he's coming at me that way.
Right.
Or
Well, it's more that he, God,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's more that he just doesn't know because he doesn't know the bills we have. You know what I mean? Or
Does he care?
like literally, does he care? I mean, it's been 19 years. So I kind of feel like this is like a new thing, you know what I mean? Where he's like wanting to know more.
Yeah, so ask.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But like other than that, no, like I'm just in control of it all. And sometimes I do get like, you know, I wish I could just give it over, you know what I mean? Or share, you know what I mean? Where I'm not having all the control. Like that's what it would feel like to really be vulnerable and to give trust is like, I want to share in the responsibility, not just have all the control, but it's hard to give it up at the same time.
Wait a minute. So you've been doing this a long time. You've been working the bills all this time, and all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want the responsibility?
Not that I don't want the responsibility, but I would like, because he is, wanting to know more, which is fine. He wants to know, but he doesn't want to like take part in it, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
So here's my thoughts, right? Because the circumstances are neutral.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to thought to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can decide what it means for you running the finances in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You can decide what it means when he asks.
Right.
You can decide to sit down with him and say, I'm ready to share in the financial responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So can we sit down and talk about maybe you taking over some of the bills?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I'm ready to not do as many or whatever.
Right.
Or you can decide, I'm empowered as hell. Make it mean that you are a powerhouse of a businesswoman, that you can run a household, that you love your choices of what's happening. And when he comes to you with a question, you can just answer it simply.
Right.
Because you feel in control, not in a manipulative way, but an empowered way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying what's right or wrong here.
Right.
I'm just giving you an idea of all the different ways you can think about this situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it still feels authentic to you that you want to sit down with him and share in the bills, do you want to share in the bills because he asks you questions in an accusatory way? Why do you want to share in the bills, right? I'm assuming that's what you want to do. You want to hand over some of the responsibility.
Yeah, I think it's more like, again, I've been doing it. I've been doing all of it for 19 years. And I think in some ways it also, it masculinizes me in a way, because I see everything going in and out. I feel like I have to, it's a pressure thing too, to perform, and so I think that's part of the reason why, like, I'm tired of feeling like I can't trust what his reaction will be, or trust, I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but I'm tired of always having to like feel like I have the control. Like, it's something I feel like safety wise I desire, but at the same time, it's like, I'm getting fucking tired of it. You know what I mean? Of that feeling of having to have control. Like, I would love to just soften. I would love to just like be more relaxed in things, but it's like my ego or whatever is just like, well, you can't do that, because then you're kind of letting yourself be seen or left open or vulnerable or raw or whatever you want to say. Do you know what I mean?
And if you had that conversation and gave him some of the bills, you're more raw. That's what you're saying?
Well, I have to trust that he would do the right thing, right? I would have to trust that he would take care of the bills and remember to pay them. And like, you know what I mean? Or I would be just micromanaging and it would just be easier for me to do it myself.
Does he pay any bills?
He pays, like, money wise, like, yes, he pays bills, but like, he's physically not sending the bill, like that kind of thing.
None of them. No bills in his life does he pay?
I mean, like picking up checks, buying things at stores, but like when we're talking about utility bills, mortgage, insurance, car payments, shit like that, like, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So is he responsible? Do you feel he's a responsible person? Do you think that do you trust him? Is he responsible?
Yes.
Do you think that he's responsible? Okay. So could you sit down with him
Mm-hmm.
and say, I would like to give you a few of the bills to take care of. How does that feel? Like when I would say that to him, how does it feel? Right.
Right. Oh,
So,
you said to him. Okay. I thought you were asking me. Okay.
but your goal is to create your own safety in your body
Mm-hmm.
for whatever, you're triggered by being seen.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say, can you take care of the insurance? Give them ask them to take care of 3 or 4 bills, tell them when they're due, give them the checkbook or whatever it is, and say, can we try it for a few months and see how it feels? Right? This doesn't have to be all or nothing either, which kind of eases you into the vulnerability, and it eases you into that new routine and him.
Right.
Do you think he would say yes?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'd have to teach him, but yeah, I think he would say yeah.
So, and then have grace
Mm-hmm.
for him, right? I would make sure that the dates are written somewhere that he is. I'd have a whiteboard maybe. Like, I wouldn't just come from a place of, well, it's now your fucking responsibility, so you figure it out type of energy versus
Right.
let's put a whiteboard together. These are the dates. And he may be like, no, I got this, right? If I did that to my husband, he'd be like, go fuck yourself. Like, I'm not, But,
Right.
Everybody's different. So
Right.
if you feel more comfortable and if he feels comfortable, put some dates in the kitchen on a thing and somewhere for him in an office somewhere and say, these are the dates. I want to help you do this, but this is what I
Mm-hmm.
need help with.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I want to help you get comfortable with it if you're not comfortable with it. But this is what I need from you to lighten up the pressure, right? But I also want to offer that pressure just comes from our thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so if you have big goals in business, and I don't know if it's pressure with money or pressure with the responsibility, but I would love for you to explore, and we can do this, like, what is creating pressure for you? Give me the
Um,
thought that create, because we started this with trust, right? But now
yeah.
we're on
Uh-huh.
to um because you want your husband to share bills with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, or that's one of the things.
Yeah. I mean, that's just
How do
money
you
is like a trigger as far as trust goes. You know what I mean? And like, I shouldn't even say that. It's a way that I saw that trust was an issue. Is kind of like
Okay.
where I was at with
So
that.
do you
Mm-hmm.
are you triggered by if you hand these bills over to your husband, you're going to end up like your mother?
That's where I kind of feel, yeah, like I feel like that's the issue. It's the control. Like I don't like giving up control for things that, like even in my business, like sometimes it's hard for me to give up control to other people because I know that if I'm doing it, it's going to be done. It's going to be done a certain way. You know what I mean? And I think that I can manipulate the outcome. Whereas if I hand it over to somebody
So,
else, I don't know what's going to happen.
okay, so your husband's responsible. Right now we have to show your brain evidence that what happened to mom
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to happen to you. Your husband's a
Mm-hmm.
responsible human being.
Yes.
I would say 10 being you have 100% belief he's responsible. 1 being you don't believe he's responsible at all. Where are you?
I'm like at a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he needs some help figuring out how to pay the bills at the certain time, you can guide him because you are the expert and just say,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to release some of these off my desk. It might be temporary. It might be forever, but can you do this for me? Because this has been a long time that I've been doing this. And I'd love to share this aspect of our life. And it's very triggering for me because of my childhood. But I believe in my heart that that this is safe.
Mm-hmm.
but I need this extra level of safety by creating this whiteboard of this X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Right? Whether you need it or not,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is creating more safety for you. I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of giving you some ideas on how to ease yourself into it. But your growth, right? Especially if you want to create a business, an empire,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can't do it all yourself, right? These empires have
Right.
teams of people,
Yeah.
right? So letting go, I think it's wonderful to let go of some of this control with the bills and show your brain it's safe and that you're not going
Mm-hmm.
to end up on the street. And then I would tell your husband, like, listen, if you get overwhelmed at all, and I don't know your husband, right? This might be easy for him as changing his clothes. I don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have trouble, if you're struggling, just come to me and we'll work through it together, right? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
triggered by handing this over already,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you're having problems, please come to me, okay? To create safety for yourself, that you're not going to wake up in the middle of the night petrified he didn't pay the mortgage,
Right.
right? And then
Mm-hmm.
if you are petrified in any single way because your brain's offering all kinds of crazy things, right? First of all, you can provide safety for yourself. My husband is responsible. I'm going to give him space to figure this out and grow. I've told him that if he has problems, and if you have to, babe, did you pay the mortgage? Today's due, or whatever, right? Whatever bill
Right.
you give him, right? And I would also say to him, and I may come at you asking, is this paid? Is this paid? Because I might be
Mm-hmm.
scared. But that is
Mm-hmm.
no reflection of you. And I believe that you're a very responsible human being,
Mm-hmm.
right? But this is what I need for safety as I grow and build my capacity for letting go of control. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that.
So, but I would love to, it's been 30 minutes, but I want to go through one more thing with you with
Mm-hmm.
letting go of control and how that looks like in your business.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because we're talking about control, but we're also talking about trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trust is, which one do you feel shows up more in your business? Trust of other people and yourself, or the having to control everything? Like, what feels more wanting to coach on?
I think probably the trust piece, especially because it's me making a decision, questioning a decision, or it's me thinking that there's got to be something else. Like I'm not trusting that I like like I know I'm capable, but at the same time, it's like I'm not trusting that I know the right way. Like so it's like I'm capable because I know that I've gotten this far and I have the proof. But then it's like to get to that next step, I'm not trusting that I'm picking the right answers or picking the right methods or do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
So you can be vague about this. I don't know how much you want to get into, but what does the next level look like, and how long have you been trying to get there?
For 8 years and it's just like it's the last promotion. It's like the last, you know, it's a big pay raise, it's a big promotion, it's a big responsibility.
All right,
It's a
so
bigger level of influence.
okay. And when you show up thinking, I'm going to put my business coaching hat on, okay?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So when you show up thinking about um, wanting to get that promotion, how often are you thinking about there's something I'm missing? What if I'm doing it wrong? Give me a percentage of your week that you're thinking about, I'm
Probably
doing it
like
wrong.
10 to 25% of the time. You know, where I'm thinking like, is this it? Like, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing for my business, for the people in my business?
Okay, so what feelings does that create for you?
I wouldn't say it's scarcity, but it's just, yeah, like not trusting. It's not having faith in what I'm doing.
And,
It's
and
it's
what feeling does that
I'm
create?
scared.
Is it scary?
I'm scared.
There's
It's
fear there.
scary. It's uncertainty. Um, yeah, I guess it's fear, because then it's like, well, then if this doesn't work out, then what is that going to do for, again, my business, the people in it, my family, my bills, like all the things.
Okay, this is perfect. You just said my family, my bills, right? So it's not enough. It's
Right.
lack.
Lack. Mm-hmm.
I want you to think about what it feels like to serve your clients. What does it feel like to help your clients? Describe the feeling to sit in service,
Uh-huh.
helping your clients, and where you feel it in your body.
Oh, I feel it like in my heart. It's just so fulfilling to see them in their transformation physically, mentally, emotionally, to hear the thank you, to see them so proud of themselves and their progress. Like, it makes my day.
And is that a lighter energy?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, as a business coach, I just want to offer the more we think about our clients and their needs and what they're struggling with and how I can help them, the more we sit in that energy and let go fully of the results, my bills, my needs,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's the service hat in what you do versus the business owner hat and the bills and the responsibilities. But I'm telling you, I just want to offer, we can coach, we would coach on this extensively. But I don't know how long you've been sitting in that, we call it get energy versus serve energy.
Mm-hmm.
My coaches, we've done extensive stuff on this because our brain is wired for what do we need? What do we need? What do we need? Oh, I need. We need to feel safe. This is what I need. I got bills. I got my kids. I got this. Our brain's wired for that. Our brain is not wired to, let's go out and serve the world all day, every day. And it does not matter.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that is where the magic is. Because one day when you build your empire, it's not going to be about the money.
Right.
What's going to get you out of bed is service, your why.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And your why might be your kids. Your why might be for the family, right? But the fulfillment in serving your clients, when you have plenty of money, it's not going to be about the money anymore.
Right.
So dig into that why, lean into service. Energy doesn't feel so good.
It does. Yeah. It feels much
Feels
better.
so good. So how can I help them today and forget needing anything? So I want you to practice sitting in service.
Mm-hmm.
That is where the answer is. And then when you sit in service and you write a Facebook post, whatever you say doesn't matter because it's your energy behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's your energy in full service. When you are in full service, whatever comes out of your mouth, you don't judge.
Right.
If you start judging, is that going to get me clients? Is that going to get me clients? Whatever the thoughts are, I got bills to pay. I need this client, right? Then it's, oh my God, whatever I say is not enough. It's not working. Mm-hmm. I didn't say it right. Because we need a result. When you need no results, it doesn't matter what comes out of your mouth. You are there in full service. And I want you to sit in that energy, and I want you to practice sitting in that energy to build the capacity of just sitting in service all day. And then see what happens. it creates, let me tell you what my coach said. If I can find the quote really, really fast. Oh man. I forget what she said, but she said, when you sit in full service, you create unexpected results. Something like that is what she says to us. Okay. Why don't you sit in that and get excited about whatever you're going to create? It's going to take practice. I promise you, I know it's going to take practice, but when you practice sitting in that energy of full service, serve energy versus what I need, right? Which nothing has gone wrong. If it happens, just like, oh, yep, I'm doing that thing. My brain wants to protect me, but let's just sit in service. It's so much more fun. And then we're going to trust.
Okay. I like that.
Right? Because for 8 years, you tried it another way. I mean, I don't know how long you've been sitting in dead energy.
I mean,
right?
I thought 2021 was like a turning point for me, and it was to a certain extent, but there's always a deeper level, right? And so I think that certain things in life that happen sometimes bring me back to that whole, I need this to feel safe. And you know what I mean? And it can push that
service
I'm going to ask mindset out.
Yes. So when you say I need this to feel safe, I need a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So that is, get energy. That's coming from lack. And that thought will keep you stuck. It will, because I've been there. There are times where I imagined having $100,000 in the bank and I felt that's not enough. And I'm like, okay, that's my work. My work is, no matter how much money is in the bank, to feel totally in service and in fulfillment. And there have been times where I didn't know how I was paying my bills. And I felt in complete fulfillment and complete joy in my life. And I'm like, I'm doing it right. I'm doing it right. It's okay. It's okay. Right? That's the healing, so that you can show up in full service and not walk into a room or put a Facebook post out there and what happened? Did I get results? Did I get results? Right? Because you're looking at, where's the results? Right? Show up in that service energy. Try to practice sitting in your client's head. What do they need? What can you do for them? How can you solve their problem and make their life better? What are they struggling with? And talk to that in full service, letting go of results. And then I would create some affirmations about abundance, financial. I've said, I am so grateful for the financial abundance that I have today and what's coming. And I said this when I didn't even know how I was paying my bills. So I get it. But it's a choice to feel safe. Right. Because if we're chasing money, and I'm not saying you're chasing money, but it's a part of the game, right? Chasing money, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. Connection, service is what's going to keep you fulfilled. 1,000%, right? 1,000%. Because, and if you listen to so many mentors, so many people that have made millions of dollars, when she hit a certain amount of 7-8 figures, she had to reassess her life, because she's like, it's not about the money anymore. And I had to dig deep to keep going, because she's a mom and she had other things, but she's like, I had to dig deep into my why to keep going, because it was no longer money was the thing, right? So if you get that now, if you could feel totally fulfilled now, then you're less likely to burn out. You're going to tap into something that is rich beyond belief, is helping others. And then money will come. Right. Money will come when you speak to your clients in a way that is just full service energy. That energy matters. It's not what comes out of our mouth. It's our energy behind it. For real.
Right. I believe that too.
How's that feel?
Feels like that may be a secret sauce that I needed,
Try it. Like I tried this for this long, but for 30 days, I'm just going to try this.
Mm-hmm.
For 30 days, I'm just going to try this. And you get to decide if you want to assess results or not in 30 days, but just see how it feels in 30 days. How do you feel? How are you showing up with your family? How are you showing up in whatever events you're going to or on social media? How are you showing up? It just feels amazing. So just see how it goes.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
All right, Nina. Anything else?
No, I think that was super helpful. I really appreciate this.
So I'm so grateful and honored. I'm truly honored to help you. Hopefully we got you to kind of expand on your beliefs.
Yeah.
Right. And the courage to move forward with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
But creating safety for yourself is something else we could coach on. But you have the ability to create safety inside your body at any time. Okay?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much.
All right, Nina. All right. I'll see you. I don't know. I'll probably see you in the next few weeks. Okay?
All right. Sounds
good. Thank you. All right. Bye.
Thanks.
One more thing. If you're loving this content, I would love for you to review wherever you're listening. Share this with a fellow amazing human that might need some extra support. And I'd love your feedback. If you're looking to give it, you can reach me at coaching@AllisonGallagher.com. If you're curious on how I can help you and what it would look like to work together, if you want to accelerate your goals, if you have goals, just don't know where to start, or if you just know you're meant for more, we would start with a free scheduled call. You would tell me where you are and where you wish you were. And by the end of that call, you're going to have relief and clarity, even some confidence, because you're going to know your action steps to take next. Then you can decide if working with me is the right fit or not. Either way, you're going to have all the information you need to move forward. To schedule a call, you can follow the link in my show notes or go to AllisonGallagher.com for more information. You've been listening to the You Get to Decide podcast with your host, Allison Cratchiola Gallagher. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.